In 1965, the first gay protest in North American history occurs. In order to present homosexuals as respectable and employable, male participants are required to wear ties, preferably with a jacket, and women are told to wear skirts. In 1969, Canada moves to the foreground of the new social revolution when it decriminalizes same-sex intimacy in the privacy of one's home.
There's no place for the state in the bedrooms of the nation, and I think that, what's done in private between adults doesn't concern the criminal code.
In the U.S., the battle over homosexual rights erupts on a June evening in 1969 at a tavern called the Stonewall. As an angry mob of drag queens, mixed-race, black, and young people fight back against a police raid.
My name is Benjamin G, and I identify as trans male.
Okay. Benjamin, how old were you when you came out?
I was 14.
When were you first aware of your preference for men and or women?
Well, I started questioning around the age of 6 to 7, and I didn't really decide what I was until I was 8.
And how did you feel about this?
I was very confused, and I didn't know.
Did you talk with anyone about this?
I only got to talk to my babysitter at the time, but other than that, no.
What was that like?
It was confusing, and around the time where I decided I needed to make a change is when I started hitting female puberty.
In your opinion, hold on. Do you have friends or relatives who are part of the LGBT community?
I have a bunch of friends that are connected with the community, but not family.
In your opinion, have you ever personally dealt with being discriminated because of your sexual preference?
Yes, by my family, because they're not really okay with gay or trans people.
And what are some of the things that they say?
Well, my dad, for example, he said, "Why do you want a penis?" And I'm just like, well, why do you want yours? So, I don't know, I was very confused and very hurt by him.
What types of discrimination have you experienced throughout your life as a transgender male?
Well, I've had very different types of abuse. Most of the abuses.
Can you elaborate on that if you would like to?
Well, see, I was physically abused because I was trying to come out as how I was, and people didn't like that. So I did get hurt by people who didn't like it. They physically harmed me.
What other types of abuse have you experienced?
Sexual, physical, and mental.
Bisexual, you mean like someone
Molested.
wanted to do that so you could be a woman, or?
To prove a point that I wasn't ever going to be a guy, and that I was a female.
And how do you feel about this? Like, I honestly can tell you from my experience, I've been through what you've been through. I've been raped and molested, so I understand. And what is it like for someone to do that? How does it, in your way, so in self-esteem, how does that make you feel?
Well, I tried to kill myself after multiple times because it made me feel even worse than I already did about my body. And I felt like the only thing I was good for was, being viewed as a woman.
And, that having to happen to you, what does it do to somebody? Because I could say my experience, but you've been, trying to come out as transgender, and then something like that happened. So what does that do?
Well, it makes it a lot harder to come out to people because then you're not sure what they're going to do to you. Because they can reject you and they can hurt you worse than you should for just being who you want to be.
So, kind of going off script here, but my next question is, you know, with bullying, have you ever been cyberbullied?
Yes.
Is this just on Instagram?
Facebook.
And what do people say?
Well, they usually call me emo faggot.
And how are people even, you know, finding out about it? Like, they just...
I'm very open about it. So, I mean, if someone comes to ask me, are you a girl? I'll be like, I used to be a girl. So I'm very open with my sexuality and being trans.
Isn't it a lovely day when you look and smile my way? Skies are blue, trees so green, make it such a lovely day. Golden sunshine in your hair, happy people everywhere. Rainbow smile for you and I.
What types of places do you go now in Sacramento when you went out? You're really open, so I could, you know, see if, you know, a lot of places they say we don't serve to people who are part of the LGBT community or people who are part of the LGBT community. So what kind of places do you go when you go? When you go hang out with friends or?
Well, I don't. I don't really have friends, so I don't go out. And I don't like the sun and the heat. So I just, generally speaking, don't go out unless I have to.
Yeah.
And it's usually to movies or something.
So what do you feel are some of the more important changes with your sexuality?
I mean, it's not really that. I mean, it's important, but it's not that important. Because that's just one piece that makes me me. And it's like, no one really needs to know it because it doesn't define who I am.
And this might be a little bit personal, but like when you grow up and you're 18, are you going to start taking hormone pills or?
I'm already on testosterone.
Okay, so do you think you're going to, you know, get a fixture?
I will be having so I will be having top surgery.
Okay. What other changes do you hope to see in the near future with the LGBT community? Well, let's say it like this. I'm whatever, right? And you know, you're part of the LGBT community. So I'm gonna say if you, for someone who's straight and someone who's transgender, there's so many things that are different. So what kind of changes do you hope to see?
Well, when you say straight and trans, it's cis or trans.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, straight is sexuality and cis is gender.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was just talking about like if it was like a straight person like Santana.
Like
she's
straight cis.
Yeah, like straight cis. Like she's a straight person. She dates guys only.
Yeah.
So if, oh my god, this is so high the way I'm trying to put it. But so, okay, so I'm gonna say this: people who are not non-LGBT people and LGBT people, what kind of future do you hope to see?
Well, definitely like us being able to coexist with each other. Because right now, like we had, you know, the mass murder in Orlando and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all people, so we should be able to live like all equal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you feel your essential identity is based on your sexual orientation? Would you be a different person if you were not transgender? If yes, how so?
I mean, if I wasn't trans, I would probably be the same. I mean, my sexuality doesn't have anything to do with how I like identify with my gender.
That's good. I like most people they say yeah I would be, but I feel like if sometimes you have sometimes it's not mainly how you feel inside. Like I know people when they say they're transgender, it's like something that I felt inside that I need to change. It, like I feel like that doesn't it sometimes might not really change your personality. It's just something that you feel like that you need to do because it makes you feel more you.
Well, before I started my transition, I was pretty much the same as I am now. It's like I've always been kind of the same.
She's a beard, and from my understanding, that means someone who is used knowingly or unknowingly as a date, romantic partner, or spouse, either to conceal infidelity or to conceal one's sexual orientation. So it's mainly for gay men. It's when a straight girl will date someone who's gay to hide the fact that he is gay. Have you heard of that slang term before?
I haven't heard slang, but I know what that is.
Are there any colloquial terms to hide or expose people in the LGBTQ community?
Well, usually for testosterone, we'll use just T. And, like, I don't know, there's quite a few.
So there's no, like, rude remarks that people say that...
one of the main one is tranny.
And what does that mean? Because I'm not...
It's, so it's usually used for male to female, so MTF, and it's discriminating. It's to discriminate on trans.
And to discriminate on trans, you mean?
Well, it's saying we can tell what gender you were born with, and you're not the gender you prefer.
Okay. Do you belong to any organizations, clubs, or support groups, and what do they mean to you?
I go to the Gender Health Center for therapy. They helped me get testosterone with a letter, so it's kind of important to me. Sometimes I go to the Q spot for the support.
I love the Q spot. It is just a bomb. Is there anything else you would like to say? Any advice you would like to give?
Well, be you. When everyone won't let you be you. Just pretty much screw people.
Well, thank you, Benjamin, so much for giving this advice to people and telling us your story. I know it's probably really hard to tell, someone your story, someone you don't really know, and I really do appreciate that you have done that. And I hope, everything goes well in the future for you. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Athena, and I'm the resident trans girl of the Met, so I identify as female.
Alright, Athena, how old were you when you came out?
Probably 13.
When were you first aware of your preference for men and or women?
I've always liked women, of course, or girls. I've always liked them, and then last year I kind of realized that I also like guys as well. So, it's been fun.
How did you feel about this?
No, it was fine. I was like, oh, now I could be a lot more open instead of just being like, she's cute, she's cute, she's cute. It's just like, she's cute, he's cute. She's okay, he's eh.
Yeah. Did you talk with anyone about this?
I talked with a lot of people about it. I'm very personal with my friends, and I've always just talked to maybe a few family members.
And what was that like? Was it okay, talking to them?
Friends didn't care. I think when I first came out as a trans girl, my friends were very like, oh, this is kind of odd, and then now they're fine with it. No one really cares. And then with being bi, it's like, okay, you're just adding more icing onto the cake here.
Yeah. Did you have friends or relatives who were part of the LGBTQ?
Yes, of course I had friends. I knew a lot of trans guys. I knew a lot of gay people, lesbians, bi, pansexual, and my aunt is bi.
You knew the whole bunch. You knew all the letters. In your opinion, have you ever personally dealt with being discriminated because of your sexual preference?
Not sexual preference, no. People would just say, just be like, you do you, person. But being trans, yes, I have been. But it's never anything that's kept me down.
So you said that you've experienced discrimination because you're a trans girl. Can you explain more on that?
It's more just it's a lot of the weird looks people give you, or substitutes. I've had an instance with a substitute basically telling me I'm not a girl, and I don't know what you crazy kids are thinking, kind of thing. That's weird. I don't know. I don't really think they have the authority to really say that, but. Most people are fine with it or don't care, which I think is honestly better if you're just do whatever you want. I don't want praise and I don't want to be demoralized. I just want people to be just do whatever you want.
Yeah. Tell me about your experiences with the LGBTQ social life in Sacramento.
I just have friends that are of that spectrum. I don't really go out of my way to look for communities. I just kind of do me, and I just kind of meet. It's never been a huge part of my personality to go seek out these people. I just kind of run into them.
Yeah. Sorry. In your experience, how has the LGBTQ community in Sacramento changed over the years?
I think it got a lot more accepting for sure. I mean, a lot more places are a lot open to it, and I'd say Midtown and downtown are separate in terms of this, because you don't really see a lot of stuff downtown, but in terms of Midtown around here, it's a lot more accepted than actual downtown, where it's still accepted, just maybe not as open about it.
What type of places did you go when you went out?
Not really, but friends, school. I came here a lot. There's a club here called GSM that I went to for a while, and that's really my extent.
Yeah. What do you feel are some of the more important changes?
What do you mean?
That could mean between being a trans girl, or just what you the more important changes within the LGBTQ community.
Just putting out the acceptance and more awareness towards the actual existence of us, showing that we're not all crazy overdone drag queens or as Republicans want to put it, perverts that rape people in bathrooms. Or pedophiles or something. It's more that we're just kind of people. There's no real difference between us. We just are okay, we're not comfortable how we are.
Yeah. What other changes do you hope to see in the near future?
Just more acceptance. I think I don't know. It just, people need to realize that it's not so much a choice and more of just I guess I'm this way now. And that's honestly the best way to put it, because I can't really, there's no real changes I want to see. I want to say people should be more accepting, but that just doesn't come by saying it. So it just needs to be just a normal part of life, basically.
Yeah. Do you feel your essential identity is based on your sexual orientation? Would you be a different person if you were not a trans girl? If yes, how so?
Most likely, yes. I don't think I would have found my more assertive personality over a more quiet, conceited personality of just a blonde guy, and more of now a more outgoing girl, basically. It's helped shape who I am, but thankfully not my whole personality. It's just, I am a trans girl. My personality is trans girl. My sexual orientation is trans girl. It's just this is all the stuff that I do, and this is how I handle things and stuff. And then people go, what about the trans part? And I go, oh yeah, that part.
Yeah. She's a beard, and from my understanding, that means a person who is used knowingly or unknowingly as a date, romantic partner, or spouse, either to conceal fidelity or to conceal one's sexual orientation.
I understand the term. I've never heard the actual term, but I understand what it is, because a lot of people go, I have this person, and this is my wife, and then they're, being gay on the secret side. A lot of celebrities do it, apparently.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know, because I don't keep up with celebrities. I've just heard this term. So that's the only reason I really know about it.
So are there any other colloquial terms to hide or expose people in the LGBTQ community?
I mean, for trans girl, people just like to call us drag queens or tranny as a way of just being stupid tranny. Even though someone did try to argue to me that that's just a legitimate term, even though it is, or it's not really. Transvestite is one. I don't really know where to feel about that one. There's a lot of other words I could say that aren't appropriate for an interview. Butch, but that butch is fine. It's just lesbian. It's a way of being you're a more manly lesbian.
You can go. Do you belong to any organizations, clubs, or support groups, and what do they mean to you?
I belong to the GSM club here, but I don't go there very, very often because I have a very busy school life and outside of life with work and things, so I'm not able to go there as much as I wish, but that's the only one I really belong to.
In closing, is there anything else you would like to say, any advice you would like to give?
Not really. I just be yourself. Do what feels comfortable to you. Don't really listen to what people tell you and just kind of figure out what life is for you and not try to relate yourself to other people. Just try to find your own thing. And then once you've kind of found your own thing, if you want to seek other people who are similar, you can find them. That's all.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you, Athena, so much.
Thank you.
My name is Hayden, and I'm a transgender man.
All right, Hayden, how old were you when you came out?
I think I came out in 7th grade, so I was like 12.
When were you first aware of your preference for men and or women?
I think it started in the summer before 7th grade, so I was like 11 to 12, and I just remember around that time a lot of my friends were LGBT, and like it kind of opened me to like think about it more, because my whole life I'd been thinking like as a female I would think like, oh, I like boys, but it was never like I really did. It was like I just felt like I had to, but I never felt like an actual like crush on a boy before. So then when my friends were talking about that a lot, then I kind of like researched and stuff, and then that got me to think about it.
How did you feel about this?
A lot of me didn't want to be LGBT. Like, it wasn't that I wasn't supportive, it was more of like I didn't want to have to deal with it. I don't want to have to deal with people like being mean to me. I didn't want to have to deal with like coming out or anything. I would rather, like at that time I would rather just stay like a cis, like straight person.
Did you talk with anyone about this?
I talked to a few friends around that time, but no one that I was friends with really knew about like being transgender or anything. So like I didn't have much support really, and then like my parents weren't really great with it at the time, so I was able to talk to them.
So what was that like? Not having that support or like the backbone when you're, you know, going through something that it's hard for you to.
I think that it was definitely hard because I didn't have any like sources to like talk to anyone, or like no one. I had no one to just like to help me get through or like think through it. Like it was mostly just me like thinking through it, and I would take like these like stupid tests online that were like, am I really transgender? And it was like I don't know, it was really weird at that time.
So, do you have friends or relatives who are part of the LGBT community?
I have all my friends are LGBT, like pretty much every one of my friends. And then I don't have any family that is LGBT.
In your opinion, have you ever personally dealt with being discriminated because of your sexual preference? And that just means have you ever been discriminated because you like do you like guys or girls, or so have you ever been discriminated because you like guys and girls?
I think I've only ever just been discriminated because of liking girls, just because everyone like would still look at me as female.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I would get a lot of like just like really personal sexual questions from people that weren't like cool to like bring up or anything, but people thought it was okay to say that to me.
What types of discrimination have you experienced in your life as a transgender man?
I think just like with family, like I can't come out to any family besides my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like, even my parents advise me not to, because I would probably be like talked about a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like some of my like aunt, she talks about her nephew, and he's a trans boy, and she like talks so much shit about him all the time. And so then like that makes me think like if I were to come out, like I couldn't, because it's like then I don't want people who love me to change their like perception.
Yeah. In your experience, how has the LGBTQ community in Sacramento changed over the years?
I don't really know. I think just like for myself personally, just from moving more downtown, I know that it's more like LGBT friendly. At least like there are a lot more LGBT people.
What changes do you hope to see in the near future?
I really hope that like for bathrooms laws at least, that we can like still go to the same bathrooms that we identify with, because I know only at the Met it's like safe, but I'm afraid to do it in public because I don't want to get like hurt or something, or someone to get mad at me.
Yeah. Do you feel your essential identity is based on your sexual orientation? Would you be a different person if you were not a transgender male? If yes, how so?
Yeah, definitely. I know that I feel definitely way happier when I am, because I've gone back and forth a lot with my gender for close to 5 years now, like just like always going back and forth, because I felt like a lot of the time I felt like I had to be female because it was just easier for the people around me, so then I would go back to being female. But I think that
it was, do you feel your essential identity is based on your sexual orientation?
Okay, so yeah, I think that I'm definitely different when I did feel like a girl, because I'm more quiet and I don't want to talk as much to people, but I find that when I am like comfortable with myself, then I'm really more open and like ready to talk to people.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. She's a bit, and from my understanding, that is when a gay man is dating a straight female to hide the fact that he is gay. So are there any other colloquial terms to hide or expose people in the LGBTQ community?
I'm not really familiar. I don't really know.
Do you belong to any organizations, clubs, or support groups, and what do they mean to you?
No, I don't.
In closing, is there anything else you would like to say, any advice you would like to give?
I think people should definitely just take your time, like trying to figure yourself out, because it's taken me so long to even get to this point, and like it's just so much to go through with myself, and like I think that you should always find someone that you can talk to, because it was always harder for me when I didn't have someone to help me through it.
Alright, well thank you Hayden so much for your time.
Hi, my name is Cruz and I identify as transgender FTM.
Alright Cruz, how old were you when you came out?
I came out as transgender actually a couple months ago, maybe January maybe. And yeah.
Alright. When were you first aware of your preference for men and or women?
Oh, okay, so this is funny. Okay, so when I was really young, like preschool, maybe first grade, I had this crush on this girl, but I just thought it was something like you wanted to be friends with her. But it's kind of a thing you look back on when you realize that you're gay. And so I'm just like, yeah, I'm definitely gay. And it was really hard for me to know though, because, I mean, my family's really accepting of it, but it was just like, how am I supposed to know I'm gay if no one's going to be like, you're gay?
Yeah. How did you feel about this? Like, were you scared or were you just like...
Oh, at first, okay, so this is funny because when I came out as like lesbian, I was hecka happy and I was going around like, yo, I'm into girls. And I was going around like looking at girls' butts and stuff. Like, but like I didn't understand like how good I had it at the time, because like everyone was pretty accepting. But when I came out as transgender, it was like totally different thing for my family. It was pretty good with my friends, but like my family, they just didn't understand it, and it kind of really messed me up because I was into girls, but now I'm a boy, so that does make me straight or gay. So it was a really confusing thing.
Yeah. Did you talk with anyone about this? Any friends or family?
Yeah, not really. Well, for gay, I guess I talked to a lot of friends, but when I came out transgender, I talked to some really good friends of mine, and like they helped me through it, and it really meant a lot. And that kind of like opened up my mind.
And what was that like? Was it easy for you to talk to them?
Well, when I first started talking about it, it was like, it wasn't like a thing where I thought I was transgender. I just thought everyone felt that way, and that's how I felt with when I was gay. It was like everyone looks at girls' butts, like, but they were like, one of my really gay friends was like, no, that's not normal. That's pretty gay. So that's how kind of like. But when I was talking about transgender, it was like I did understand because I was always so called a tomboy. So I just thought it was like I just had more masculine figures, like traits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like a thing where you feel more comfortable as a boy, and acting like a boy also. Yeah, like being called a boy and acting like a boy.
So did you have friends or relatives who were part of the LGBT, who were like lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, my aunt was a little gay. I mean, my family is a little gay, to be honest. But I mean, who isn't? But yeah, I mean, most of my family has gone through periods of like being with like the same sex and stuff. And even like I had a aunt who was male to female transgender, and she got killed actually. So I think that was kind of crazy. So yeah.
In your opinion, have you ever personally dealt with being discriminated because of your sexual preference?
Well, I mean, now that I think about it, it's not really discrimination, but I get things like from my grandma. She tells me stuff like, she's really nice and stuff, but she says you have to watch out because I travel a lot, and she'll say, when you go to the islands, you have to dress like a girl so you don't get messed with and stuff. And I think that's some things that I hold back to, and I say, no, if I dress like a boy, it won't really matter, you know? And I just think that's kind of messed up with knowing that it's like, American culture is different from so many other cultures. So yeah, I think that's what I consider.
What types of discrimination have you experienced throughout your life as a transgender man?
Definitely shopping, I have to say. Shopping and wanting to use the men's dressing rooms. So I usually go home and then try to return it. But that's definitely one of the biggest ones. Using bathrooms, it's that, should I use this one or that one? And it's definitely how you look that day, and like if you're gonna get kicked out of one or kicked out of another. And it's definitely hard when you're not in a familiar place, like especially public places, so that's really hard sometimes.
In your experience, how has the LGBTQ community in Sacramento changed over the years?
I've noticed a lot of more open places, like the LGBT Center on L. So that's a really nice place, and there's a gender health center also. And I noticed like these places aren't really talked about. Like the gender health center, I found out from a counselor, and like I never knew it was there. It's like just a little small building. So it's these things that are there and open to the public, but just no one talks about them really, I noticed.
What changes do you hope to see in the near future?
I definitely hope to see like people being more accepted into like public places. If that makes sense, like transgenders in their like preferred bathrooms. And I don't really want to see like people like thinking that's gross. Because what's gross about it? I mean, we all use the bathroom, so I guess that's one thing I definitely want to see. Is like more acceptance and being like known to like their pronouns and the non-binary. Because that's something really people don't know about.
So do you feel your central identity is based on your sexual orientation? Would you be a different person if you were not transgender? If yes, how so?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like I definitely wouldn't act the way I do. I wouldn't be so open. Maybe like I just wouldn't either, like if I was still lesbian, if I was just a straight cis female, I feel like my life would be really harder in a way of me having to deal with knowing that I'm not that, and then I have to deal with like knowing that this is not who I am.
Yeah. She's a beard, and from my understanding, that is when a gay man is dating a straight female to hide the fact that he is gay. Are there any other colloquial terms that are used to hide or expose people in the LGBT community?
I mean, I could only think as people saying that guy is closeted, but he's not, like, he's bisexual. They'll say he's just a closeted gay. And that's something that's not okay. Or they'll just say, like, bisexual women are just straight, and they just want to say that. I think that's definitely one of them. Because I think bisexual is seen as a confused state of mind. So that's one of the things I think.
Do you belong to any organizations, clubs, or support groups, and what do they mean to you?
I don't really. I mean, I've been to like the LGBT center a couple times for like the Wednesday support group, I think it is. And I mean, I don't really prefer to go to those sometimes. And like I've been to the gender health center once, and I just don't prefer to go to those because I feel uncomfortable. And because I feel like sometimes I don't know those people. Even though like we share traits and stuff, I feel like I really have to get to know you before I just talk about everything that's happened to me sometimes.
Yeah. In closing, is there anything else you would like to say? Any advice you would like to give?
Definitely just love yourself and try to love everybody around you, because that's something that if you want to give, you get back.
All right. Well, thank you, Cruz.
My name is Maya. I'm confused, very confused with my gender, but I'm pansexual, meaning I like everybody.
All right, Maya. How old were you when you came out?
I was 12 when I came out, because I came out to my dad first as bisexual. So at the time I didn't know what pans was. And I came out to him, he was really supportive. My stepmom came out and like they were really supportive. They're like, that's okay, like we love you. We honestly kind of figured that you liked girls. And I was like, alright, that's great. And I was scared to come out to my mom. Like I was scared to talk about this, but I'm just gonna do it. Let's just start where I was going. So I was scared to come out to my mom, and generally my mom's side of the family, because of how they have talked about gay people and just the whole LGBT community. And you know, she didn't the way she talked about things and the way she worded things didn't convince me that she would be supportive if I came out to her. And when I did come out to her months and months after I came out to my dad, like I came out to her as bi, and she was kind of just like, okay, like all right. She denies it now, but I swear she said I know. And then I came out to her as trans a couple minutes later after that, and she didn't show the right support at all. She kind of just looked at me and was like, why? And told me I didn't want to do that, I shouldn't change myself, told me about how I should just love myself for who I am, and just that she didn't. So basically coming out wasn't exactly fun, but sorry, I was 12. I got on a little.
When were you first aware of your preference for men and or women?
The end of 5th grade. Because around the time I had crushes on boys, like actual crushes, but I also was feeling actual crushes on girls. And you know, the previous year, 4th grade, I had learned what gay was, and I was, you know, everyone in 4th grade like, oh, that's gross, you know, just about everyone. But in 5th grade, I really started questioning it, and I had crushes on girls, and I was questioning it, and like I was like online, like, you know, researching and stuff, watching YouTube videos of like lesbians, and you know, I had crushes on boys and girls. I didn't know if that just made me some freak. I didn't know bisexual was a thing at the time, and it was scary trying to come to terms with it because I really had no one I could go to.
Yeah. Did you talk with anyone about this?
I didn't talk with anyone about it. I kind of went through it, like figuring that out myself, like on my own, and trying to figure out myself.
And what was that like? Was it hard for you?
Yeah, it was really hard. It was really scary, especially because I didn't know how my family would react. I didn't know how all my friends would react. A lot of them didn't react good, and just seeing the atmosphere, how, you know, gay people were treated, just in general at the elementary school I went to, it was really scary.
Yeah. Do you have friends or relatives who are part of the LGBTQ community?
Most all of my friends are part of the LGBT community, and I have a couple of family members. I think I have like 2 or 3, but I have a couple family members I know of, like 2 or 3 aunts, cousins, but other than that, no one really in my family.
In your opinion, have you ever personally dealt with being discriminated because of your sexual preference?
Well, in 6th grade, I came out. The first person I ever came out to was my friend Lily, and she totally cut me off, and it got out to a couple people in school. Oh, you know, she's gay. She likes girls. And so I kind of got bullied on that. Like I was bullied by the people, but that was like brought into it. It was never physical bullying, just people like following me, taunting me, like saying mean shit and stuff. It was just so yeah, that, and then just not much in public, like walking around in like the city.
Yeah.
I guess but just mostly that.
Yeah. What types of discrimination have you experienced throughout your life as a, is that okay if I say just questioning?
Yeah, go ahead.
As a questioning person?
Well, just like in life in general. My mom, for one, whenever anything happens, my brother, who's a little baby, my little brother, he'll do something, my mom will just be like, oh yeah, boys are different like that, and then she'll get in this giant rant about, oh, because you know the chemicals in our bodies and stuff, and try to explain why a boy and a girl, and that kind of just like double weighs down on me, because in questioning, I feel like I am a boy. I feel like I've always felt that.
Yeah.
But my mom is a big reason on why I feel like I shouldn't be a boy, and I feel like I should have to squash that down and just like ignore that feeling.
Tell me about your experience. In your experience, how has the LGBTQ community in Sacramento changed over the years?
I don't know much. All I know is that people are getting more accepting and stuff, and you know, people are comfortable to walk around with, you know, as, you know, just say like a trans woman or a trans man, or you see like two gay dads walking around with their daughter, and it makes my heart sing. It's so, I love seeing LGBT people just being open and themselves in public. It makes me so happy, and I love that I'm able to. I love that that's the time in society that I live in.
What are the changes you hope to see in the near future?
Of course, the bathroom, the whole transgender people not being able to use the bathroom that they should, because trans man is a man, so he should go to the men's bathroom. Trans woman is a woman, she should go to the women's bathroom. That is one of the biggest things I think should change. And then overall, just people being more accepting and not being so in their own heads and scared of, oh, their kid being exposed to it, when there's really nothing that's being exposed at all. Just people need to be more open to it.
Sorry, do you feel your essential identity is based on your sexual orientation? Would you be a different person if you were not questioning? If yes, how so?
I do think that it was a based, you know, because like I said, I always felt like a boy, but in figuring out that I like, you know, everyone, but that I am like pansexual, it helped me more, like, because in 7th grade, I met my best friend Hayden, and I did not know that transgender was a thing. I didn't know that people could do, I thought basically you were assigned to the gender you got, and that was it, forever, done. And I met Hayden, and Hayden would, you know, told me feelings about him being trans, and like it really got me thinking, and I was like, do I feel that way? And do I feel like I'd be a different person? Definitely, yes, definitely. I would not be the same person at all. Looking back on it, when I would be open and being a boy and like being out as trans, as I was for a period of time, I was definitely way more comfortable and like comfortable being like outspoken and like loud and kind of like not obnoxious, but like obnoxious, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Like that's how I am. That's my personality. But now that I try to kind of squash those feelings down and be a girl, I feel like I have to be timid and I can't be loud and like raucous and stuff.
Yeah. She's a beard, and from my understanding, that is when a straight or cis female is dating a gay man to hide the fact that he is gay. Are there any other colloquial terms to hide or expose people in the LGBTQ community that you know about?
I don't really know much. Just like what Cruz said with the he's like calling bisexual people closeted or confused. That's really the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. Do you belong to any organizations, clubs, or support groups?
No, I don't.
In closing, is there anything else you would like to say? Any advice you would like to give?
Well, just for people who are closeted, either as trans or non-binary, or just you think you're gay or maybe bi, or anything in the LGBT. If you're closeted or questioning and you're scared to come out to someone that you love or someone that you care about deeply in your life, and you feel that they care about you, don't be afraid to come.
Go ahead.
Don't be afraid to come out to them. Like, yes, of course, have caution if you feel your life is in danger, but if they can't accept you for who you are, and they can't accept you for who you really are, and they can't love you for that, then they really aren't worth it, and just, they just aren't worth it. And just keep that in mind, and know that no matter what, you need to love yourself and have your own back, and just keep on going.
All right, well, thank you, Maya, so much for your time.
My name is Lucas Miller. I identify as a male. I go by he, him pronouns, and I have to say my sexuality. I'm pansexual, I guess. I don't know. I kind of like whatever. I guess that's pansexual, but
And you're...
Oh, and I'm transgender. I'm a transgender male, so female to male. Yeah.
All right, Lucas, how old were you when you came out?
Well, before I identified as trans, I came out as a lesbian to my mother around the age of 14, I think. It was kind of accidental, though, because she found out I had a girlfriend, and it was just really bad. But I came out as trans when I was 16. I think I just turned 16, and it went okay. Yeah. So I've been out for about almost 2 years now, to my parents at least. But when I came out to my friends, I was maybe 15 and a half.
When were you first aware of your preference for men and or women?
For women, honestly, when I was a kid, I just didn't know that it was wrong of me to like women. But I never really made it apparent though. Yeah. I kind of just was just like, oh yeah, that girl's really pretty, but I have to like guys because that's how society was back then, at least. But I don't know. I guess I've always thought guys were attractive, but not dateable. I don't know. I really like girls, but I don't know.
Right.
So I guess I've always known. Yeah.
How did you feel about this? Was it hard for you, or?
At first, I knew in middle school when I came out to my friends in middle school about being gay when I identified as a girl. It was. I mean, I accepted it, but it took a toll on me because, I don't know, that was at the time where people were just kind of like, gay, what? That's weird, but I got used to it, and then when I came out to my parents, it didn't go so well, so I kind of hated myself, but then now I really love myself, and I accept who I am, and I take full in, I embrace myself, because, love yourself.
Did you talk with anyone about this, about, anything you were going through?
Yeah. I had a really close friend. Her name was Lexi, and this was in middle school. And she always just told me, it's okay to be the way you are. There's no reason for you to hate yourself. It's just who you are, and you can't control it. It's not a choice. And then, I don't know, when I was trans, I still am. It was, actually one of my three of my closest friends are trans too, so it was really easy for me to talk to them about it. So I do have a great support group, but I don't know, I don't really talk about it a lot. I kind of just try to keep it in, but I do have a great support group, so if I do have to talk about it, it's good. I honestly don't even know the answer to the question, but I hope it did.
What was that like? What was it like keeping stuff in? Because when I hear other people's stories, they say it's kind of hard because they can't, be truthful about who they are.
I don't know. It feels really just. I feel just really angry a lot because like it just feels like I can't like really put it into words how I'm feeling. Like especially if I'm talking to like a straight person or something like that. It's just like I'm sure like they'd be understanding, but like I don't know. It's just a lot of pent up like anger, but I don't know. It just feels really unhealthy. It's just bad for like my mind always just feels really down and like really cloudy, but like I don't know. Yeah. It's not that bad.
So you answered my question about did you have friends who were part of the LGBT community, but did you have any relatives?
Actually, yeah, one of my cousins just came out as gay about a year ago. He's a guy. And then one of my other younger cousins, he didn't really come out. I kind of just saw something he posted, or yeah, he just posted something and I asked him about it and he was just like, yeah, like, I mean, he's bisexual, so he likes boys and girls, but he was kind of just like, yeah, I mean, it's whatever. I feel like everyone kind of is. So yeah, I think that's about all who's out right now. Oh, my grandma's gay, but she's been out. Yeah.
In your opinion, have you ever personally dealt with being discriminated because of your sexual preference? And that just means because you're pansexual.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Did you, like, in your opinion, have you ever personally dealt with being discriminated because of your sexual preference?
Just with my sexual preference, not my gender identity?
We're gonna go to that.
Oh, okay. Sexual preference? No. Not, at least not to my face. I didn't really feel, I don't know, maybe like when I was younger, yes, just because, like, I mean, not to me personally it happened, but like in general in society, like gay is wrong, like God hates fags, all that stuff. But it didn't really affect me because it's just like I like who I like. It's not affecting me, or it's not affecting anyone else but me.
So do you feel your essential identity is based on your sexual orientation? Would you be a different person if you were not part of the LGBT community? I mean, you're not trans.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about that a lot. I don't know. I sometimes think like, oh God, like if I weren't trans and if I were just a straight girl, like would I be homophobic or transphobic? But I don't know, because I mean, not many people, as I said, in my family are gay or trans. I'm actually the only trans person in my family, but I feel like they would raise me at least to be okay with it and not trip about it. But then again, I feel like I also may be that person that just kind of is like, I'm okay with it, but like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I don't know. I really just can't tell. I can't tell what I'd be like, honestly. I'm glad I'm not that though. I'm glad that I am.
She's a beard, and from my understanding, that means when someone gay or someone whoever, etc., is dating a straight female or whoever, straight man, male, to hide their true identity. Is that true?
Yes, kinda. I could. Okay, well, it means, I'm pretty sure it's more for gay guys, not necessarily closeted lesbians. I think it's more for closeted gay guys because it's a beard and that's more of a masculine thing. But it means like, say there's a guy, but no one knows he's gay, and he's dating this girl. So that girl is his beard because they're only dating each other so she could cover up the fact that he's a closeted gay. But then, yeah, that's at least from what I've heard. It could mean something else, but.
Are there any other colloquial terms to hide or expose people in the LGBT community?
Not that I can think of right now. Beard was the only one that I could think of, but no.
Sing me a song, just let me ask you to sing your cute little song the whole day long. Isn't it a lovely day? My cares just drift away. Your angel smiles, angel eyes make it such a lovely day. Oh, Mr. Bluebird, sing me a song. Let me ask you to sing your cute little song.
All right. So, what types of discrimination have you experienced throughout your life as a transgender, pansexual male?
Well, honestly, I really haven't had like a lot of discrimination to my face. Like, I don't know, I've heard the word tranny being thrown around sometimes and stuff like that. But as a trans male, I guess it's easier in society for me to kind of like be more accepted. But when it comes to trans girls, as a guy to a girl, it's more like, oh, that's a guy wearing a dress, blah blah blah. Yeah, anyways. But yeah, for me, I don't know. I feel like once I go into the real world when I graduate, I'll probably face it more. But now it's kind of just like, I know there's people out there that see me and it's just like, that's wrong, like you're just a lesbian. But no one's ever said this to my face. And even if they did, I just walk away because it's just like, I am who I am. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. And it's just going to be like that. So yeah.
In your experience, how has the LGBT community in Sacramento changed over the years?
Well, I wasn't really like aware of it until maybe a couple years ago when there was gay pride in Sac. I'm pretty sure it happens every year, but I only knew that it happened that year when my friend told me about it. But it's probably for sure come closer together. There's for sure way more like events or like just like organizations that help the LGBTQ community. But I think ever since like gay marriage was legalized and like those trans rights for like kids using the bathrooms and like whichever bathroom or locker room they prefer, it's for sure gotten better. But I think since Trump has came into office, it's gonna change a lot, at least in the future. But right now, it's for sure everyone's coming together, or at least a lot of people are coming together when it comes to being LGBTQ. But yeah.
What do you feel are some of the more important changes? And that could just mean like with your sexuality or just in general.
Wait, sorry, can you repeat that?
This is like, what do you feel are some of the more important changes? And that could mean with your sexuality or just in general.
Like changes and like...
Important changes like your sexuality, you know, the stuff that you like you have to do. I don't know. So I'm really saying.
What are changes? Changes like changes as in
like okay.
I'm sorry, I just don't understand.
For example, like if you're a trans guy, do you get, you know, your
yeah. Oh, okay, so like for trans guys, you can start hormones. So right now I have a lot of estrogen running through my body and it's not what I want, but I could go on testosterone, which cisgendered males have. And cisgendered means that you are born in the correct body, you don't want anything to be changed about you, all that, like you're just okay. So like for me personally, I could start hormones. That could be through a shot form, a patch form, a pill form, and I think that's about it. And then once I start that, I haven't started it yet, but once I start that, I'm gonna have to do it for the rest of my life, which I'm okay with personally, but some people are just like, what? Like, I have to do that. It's just like taking medicine. And then you can also get surgery for your chest and for your lower area, but some trans people don't decide to do that. Some trans people don't even start hormones because they're just comfortable already, even though they're not in the right body, they're just somehow comfortable. I personally am not, so I'm gonna do what I can. And yeah, that's probably it, really.
What are the changes you hope to see in the near future with you know, just the community that, you know,
what changes?
LGBT community.
What changes can I see?
Yeah, what changes do you hope to see in the future?
Well, I really hope that like straight people and cisgendered people really like become allies, and like, I mean, there already are allies for us, but it's kind of just like, oh no, I'm okay if you're gay, I have a gay friend, like not that type of shit, just like actually like
he's okay
just actually like people willing to like fight for like trans rights, pan rights, gay rights, all that type of stuff, not just saying, oh, I went to gay pride, that means I'm okay, because I know that there's some people that are they are okay with like being gay and being trans, but once they're not with their trans or gay friends, they're with some other buddies that aren't so okay with it, and I know that they'd be just like, oh, well, that's fucked up of them. That's messed up of them to say. But I mean, I'm not around my gay friends right now, so I hope that really changes, and I hope that, like, I don't know, I just hope it could be seen more as it's really not a choice. Like, I wouldn't choose to be discriminated every day, and I wouldn't choose to be uncomfortable every day around other people and all that. Like, it's just not a choice. And I hope, like, it changes in, like, religions and stuff, because I know with some religions it's just bad. Like, it's just bad if you're like this. But yeah,
I get what you're saying, because I was just telling somebody that I was interviewing the other day that a lot of religions say that you're not accepted if you're gay, lesbian, and etc.
Yeah.
But that's not true, because it's like, for me, I think God makes everyone exactly who they are. So I feel like God puts certain struggles in your life so you could go through it and learn through it and do something about it. Yeah. So if they were to say that God, you're an abolishment, is that right? Or a sin.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, then it's like, it's not, because God made you exactly who you are. Like, it's just,
I don't know. I personally don't believe in any sort of God, but I believe everything happens for a reason, and that, like, I don't know, like, people should just be accepting these things. Like, oh yeah, I don't know. I just hope that people, like, just accept and love everybody. Because that's what we were put here for. And, like, there's nothing wrong with being who you are. I mean, unless, like, you're a child molester or a rapist or a murderer, or you have sex with animals and you can go to hell. But besides that, I think you're good. And I feel like, I just hope it changes a lot. I just hope it gets accepted, and I hope that my children feel comfortable with coming up to me and saying, I like boys if they're a boy, or Dad, I am in the wrong body and I need to change this immediately or as soon as you can. And yeah, and honestly, when it comes to, like, medical stuff for trans people, I hope that changes too, because it's really hard to, like, be trans with no medical insurance or anything.
Do you feel your essential identity is based on your sexual orientation? Would you be a different person if you were not transgender?
I think about that, like, all the time. Like, I think about...
Hi, my name is Elias, and I am male, and I'm gay.
Alright, Elias, how old are you?
I am 17.
How old were you when you came out?
I was 13.
When were you first aware of your preference for men?
Probably about, like, the 6th grade, so, like, 12, 13, around there. I just started noticing that I was looking more at guys than girls, so yeah.
How did you feel about this?
I felt okay with it, because I grew up with a, with family telling me it's okay to be gay, because I have family members that are gay too, so.
Yeah. Did you talk with anyone about this?
Not until I came out.
And who did you come out to?
I came out to my mom.
And no one else knows?
No, my, like, other family members know, now, but back when I was 13, it was only my mom.
So I don't know if I can ask this question, but who doesn't know that you're out?
Probably my dad.
And since you haven't came out to him, what does that look like for you?
He already told me, we just happened to watch something on TV, and he said, if it was something going on about like LGBT, and he was like, I don't know why other parents would diss their kid like that, because he said, even if you were gay, I wouldn't cast you out like that. Yeah.
You think your mom maybe told him and he's just kind of waiting for you to do it, because that's
I think maybe.
I feel like that's probably good, I feel like if a parent does say that and then they wait and they give a hint hey, I'm ready, I've had my time to be shocked and still go with it. And then, they're probably just he's waiting on you. That's probably a good thing. So probably when you tell him, he's going to be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So happy. Did you have any friends or relatives who were part of the LGBT community?
Just my 2 uncles.
And did they talk to you, about?
I never talked to my uncle about it before. because like he lives in Chicago. I just knew he was gay, but I never talked to him about anything like that.
In your opinion, have you ever personally dealt with being discriminated because of your sexual preference?
Yeah, like in middle school, you know, kids, you know, teasing. That's about it.
Yeah, normal stuff.
Yeah.
I had actually seen something where this male, he was gay, and he was getting bullied. And he didn't know he didn't identify as gay yet, but the kids were bullying him because they were like, he likes guys.
Yeah.
He likes guys, and he was like, I don't even know what I identify as. And then he ended up being gay, but it's like you can't really like I feel like people identify you already just because of what you look like, what you wear, and it's like, why do that?
Yeah.
So, what types of discrimination have you experienced such your life as a gay man?
Like, what do you mean a little bit?
Like, has anybody, you know, said, hey, I'm not going to be cool with you because you're gay? Or just been like, you can't do this and that because you're gay?
Yeah, my friend, my sister's boyfriend, his daughter, she was just like, oh, I can't talk to you anymore because you're gay. And it's a choice, and, you know, she just didn't want to talk to me anymore because she was gay. I guess her family was super religious, and they taught her a different way. So, yeah.
It's crazy because, you know, I feel like the main reason why people are not so accepting of people who are part of the LGBT community is because of, you know, the religious part. But they always say God makes you who you are.
Exactly.
So anytime I hear that, I'm like, God made you who you are. He didn't say, he never said that we're going to shun you away. And even if he did, he probably didn't mean it in that sort of way.
Yeah.
Probably meant it in a different way. But I feel like God made you who you are. So he's not going to be like, you know, hey, you can't talk to me or anything because you're gay. I mean,
yeah,
that's just crazy talk to me. Tell me about your experiences with the LGBT social life in Sacramento.
I'm not a big social person with the LGBT. I feel like maybe later on in the future I would be, but now I'm not really part of like any clubs or anything like that.
Is that just because you're not like fully out?
No, I think it's mainly because I'm just not a very social person.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
In your experience, how has the LGBTQ community in Sacramento changed over the years?
I feel like it's changed a lot. I'm not sure a lot about in Sacramento, but like over the past years, you know, LGBT has changed a lot. So,
sorry, I cannot see at all. What type of places did you go when you when you decided to hang out with friends? Did you go to places that, you know, like accepted? Or like you just like really didn't care?
I didn't care. I kind of went. I'm a human being. I went wherever I wanted to. So.
Yeah. What do you feel are some of the more important changes?
Important changes. I feel that like people that are against LGBT, I feel they like people that are against LGBT and then LGBT community should just stay away from each other because the people that are against it. It's like, we know you're against it. We heard what you had to say already. What's the point of you like going to events and telling everybody, you know, it's not okay to be gay? I just feel like they should keep one there on their side and one on their side, you know, just far away from each other.
Yeah, but then like say, this is just hypothetical thinking. Like say in the future, you know, after Trump is president, we end up getting a gay president, or whatever, as someone who was part of the LGBTQ community president. Wouldn't you want just for everybody to be like on the same page? Because if we have a president like that, everything is going to be on the same page. Like, I think it's just everybody's still, you know, kind of learning how to just get used to it. And that's probably because like it's marriage equality took like till 2011 just to get, you know, a bit like to be like, yeah, it's, you know, you're allowed to do that. And it's probably like the hardest thing ever, because speaking from videos I've seen from like the 60s till now, that's like a lot. It's been a drastic change. So I would just, you know, hope to see, instead of everybody just being like, here's this, here's that, because then, you know, that's how, you know, if that one of the people who aren't accepting of people who are part of the LGBT community and their son or daughter, you know, ends up being part of the LGBT, you know, they end up losing a parent or they losing their son. So I can see now, like, if we went with that, because it's like our president is not really accepting of it, but like in the future, I hope it's just like boom, we don't even have to worry about it. It's like we've been years, and if anybody brings it up, you know, it's like, dude, it's been a couple hundred years since we you know, done anything like this. So what other changes do you hope to see in the near future besides, you know, everybody just being equal? Is there any like rights going on right now that in LGBT that, you know, you hope to see that are allowed?
I'm not really sure, because like I said, I'm not really a part of like the big LGBT like community part, like hearing like keeping up with stuff like that. But there is what I just want to like your opinion on it. There is trans rights, you know, for trans people to be able to use like whatever kind of bathroom they want and stuff like that. Do you hope to see in the future that like it's, you know, they're allowed to do that and stuff? Yeah, definitely, you know, because they're what they identify as, they should be able to go to use that bathroom, and just like after like the whole transition and everything, I feel like they should still be able to use the bathroom that they identify as, not their past you know, identification. So I feel like for people it's only like before the transition where they really like notice and say something, because I feel like awkward, and it's like when people say, yeah, you know, I agree with people who are part of the LGBT, but then they, you know, out in public they want to shun people away because they don't want nobody thinking anything wrong. So do you feel your essential identity is based on your sexual orientation? Would you be a different person if you were not gay? If yes, how so? I feel maybe. It's kind of like a maybe, because I did grow up like, I don't want to say like, but like the ghetto side of the neighborhood. So I feel like I would be like influenced by the kids at school, you know, to be like one of those type of straight guys. Yeah, that's like super against. So she's a beard, and from my understanding, that is when a straight female ends up dating a gay guy to you know, hide the fact that he's gay. So that's one of the colloquial terms in the LGBT to hide or expose people in the LGBTQ community. Are there any other colloquial terms that you know of to hide or expose people in the LGBT community? No, this is the first time I ever heard about that term before. Yeah, I've never heard of anything like that. So. Is like anything other that people like? What are some of the words, the hurtful words that people use? Do you know any of them? That straight people say to like LGBT. Yeah, like I think everyone's heard them before. You know, it's like I really don't know of like any other new ones, but can you like give me an example, because I don't know all of them. Like some that other people have heard. Well, of course, like straight people, they'll like say like fag or something like that. And let's see, queer, that's another one that I've always heard, but it's like mostly like a lot of the common ones. I've never heard anything like new yet. So yeah. So when people like say those things, has anybody ever said anything like that to you? It's kind of harder. Like, I don't actually think so. I don't think anybody has ever said anything like super offensive like that to me. If anybody did say something like that to you, how would it feel? I would be like super offended and really mad. That's all I can say. That's kind of like hard to think about, you know. Yeah. So do you belong, or you don't belong to any organizations? Do you hope to join an organization or support group? Yeah, totally, later on in the future, you know. I feel that because like I have like an older mindset, so I think like a little bit like an older person. I just like maybe like when I'm more of an adult, I feel like I want to be there more out there for teens than, you know, people in my age group. So. Yeah. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to say? Any advice you would like to give? Never be afraid to show your true colors. You know, be who you are, stay true to yourself, and just don't hide who you are. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Elias. Yep.
My name is Forrest.
All right, Forrest. How old were you when you came out?
Like 16.
Okay, well, what do you identify as, so we know?
Male.
As male, as in...
boy, like.
I mean, like, what do you identify as in the LGBT community?
Oh, trans.
Okay. When were you first aware of your preference for men and or women?
Like, when did I start liking? I started liking girls when I was like in 5th grade, probably.
And how did you feel about this?
I don't know. I thought girls were pretty cute, so.
Did you talk with anyone about this?
About being trans? Not like until like I was educated about it, and then I was like, oh, that's me. Like,
what was it like? You know, was it hard for you, or?
Yeah, it really sucked because it was like, I don't know. I just like when I was little, I didn't really know that like what trans was, and it wasn't until like I was like educated that there was like a female and like male, and there was a difference, and that once like you go through puberty, like you like your body changes, and I was just like, shit, I don't want that to happen. And then yeah, so around like 7th grade it got really difficult.
Alright, did you have friends or relatives who were part of the LGBT community?
Yeah, so like my best friends are trans, and my brother's gay.
In your opinion, have you ever personally dealt with being discriminated because of your sexual preference? And that just kind of means, have you ever been discriminated because you like girls?
No, but like I've been discriminated for like being trans, but not for, because I mean most people just view me as like, some people don't even know I'm trans, which is nice, but so they just think I'm like.
So what types of discrimination have you experienced? Like, can you give some examples of what people say to you for being trans?
Some people, like when they find out I'm trans, like they could be thinking that I'm like a cis male for like months, and then like they could find out I'm trans, and then they won't respect my pronouns, which is kind of stupid because it's like, you know me as he, him, and like some people will say you're not really trans, like that's not a real thing, like you just want to be a boy. Like, I didn't just wake up and say, oh, I want to be a boy today. Like, a lot of people think that. And I feel like with sports as well, I couldn't be on, like, males teams because not only for, like, the hormone differences, because obviously, like, you know, cis males are significantly stronger than I am, but, like, just people have issues with, for some reason, with letting a trans person on a sports team.
Yeah, tell me about your experiences with the LGBT social life in Sacramento.
I feel like everyone, like when I came to this school, everyone was like pretty cool about it. And I think people in Sacramento are very just, you know, it's a really liberal city, so I feel like, you know, I've never had anyone like on the streets or anything like, you know, say anything.
In your experience, how has the LGBTQ community in Sacramento changed over the years?
I feel like it's like, I don't know, I didn't really know about it that well, you know, a couple of years ago, but I would say it's just only getting like better, because I feel like more people are like, I feel like being like gay or something now is just kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, there are still some people that are just like, you know, really rude about it, but I feel like,
but it's like the new kind of terms that we're like finding out about that are kind of more serious. Well, not everything is serious, but you know, kind of more out there.
Yeah, I feel like now, like I feel like people who are gay or lesbian, it's definitely maybe a lot more tame. You know, it's, people aren't like freaking out as much about it as they were, but I feel like with other people who identify, you know, like, I feel like for people who are like pansexual or you know, don't identify as either gender or maybe, you know, a different gender, I feel like it's way harder for them, just because they just aren't educated on it.
What type of places did you go when you went out? Did you only go to places that were accepting of you?
Oh, like what I would do in my free time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really spend my time with people who don't, you know, want to spend time with you. So, you know, I would just go out and hang out with friends or something like that.
What do you feel are some of the more important changes with just like with your sexuality or just in general?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, you could talk about whether your sexuality or just like with the LGBT community.
Like what changes I'd like to see?
What are some of the changes that are important?
I think honestly, like the biggest change that's I think the most important is just educating people, because I feel like people are homophobic or transphobic or whatever with just because they don't know. There's other people are like that, so they're like, oh, I guess that's the way to be. So I feel like if more schools, you know, if you take like sex ed for example, if they didn't just teach, you know, people about sex between, you know, a man and a woman, if they did it, you know, between a girl and a girl or a guy and a guy, I feel like more people would be like, oh, okay, you know, that's you know. And I feel like if you educated kids, you know, like at a younger age, I don't know if anyone else in their elementary schools had to watch like family life stuff, but I feel like if, you know, I remember even at like, because I went to a public school, and even us, you know, when they teach us there, they were like, you know, when you grow up, you know, if you're a girl, you know, you'll probably start dating guys, and if you're a guy, you'll probably start dating girls. And I feel like if they taught, you know, not you'll probably this or you'll probably that, it's just, you know, you might want to do this or you might want to do that. So
yeah. Do you feel your essential identity is based on your sexual orientation? Would you be a different person if you were not transgender?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's kind of a tough question. I think that probably not. I think if I was comfortable in my body, I might be like straight. I don't know.
She's a beard, and from my understanding, that means it's when it's a slang term describing a person who is used or knowingly or unknowingly as a date to a romantic partner to conceal their infidelity to one's sexual orientation. Is that true?
Oh, so like a gay guy dating a girl to keep his masculine. Yeah, that's.
So, are there any other colloquial terms to hide or expose people in the LGBT community?
I don't think so. Not that I know of. I mean, I was actually just recently told about the beard thing. I mean, I knew that was like that happened, but I didn't know that there was a term for it.
Do you belong to any organizations, clubs, or support groups, and what do they mean to you?
No, not like in the LGBT community. I'd like to start going to the Gender Health Center, but I just haven't gotten around to doing that. So.
In closing, is there anything else you would like to say, any advice you would like to give to the people who are going to be watching?
I think the best thing I can say is just educate yourself. Like, even if you don't really care about it that much, like, just try to have an understanding about, you know, like, what other people are going through, because, like, to other people it's a pretty big deal, so, you know, it doesn't really hurt just to be nice about it, like, you know, so, yeah.
Alright, well, thank you for so much.
Okay. I kid you not, as soon as I turned on the camera, my heart just like immediately started beating really hard. But I'm going to deal with it because I have something to tell you guys.
I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I just felt like I couldn't.
I felt like it was my fault.
I needed to learn to love myself before I could expect other people to love me for that.
Why am I ashamed of who I am?
I'm not passing as anything, I'm being. I'm about to tell my mom.
Kind of like freaking out right now.
We just wanted to like call and tell you.
Because I'm tired of hiding, and I'm tired of lying by omission.
Dad, I'm gay.
It feels so good to say
that. You still love me? I still love you, Mom.
Nothing would stop me from loving you, my dear.
I love you, kid.
Love you too.
I felt nothing but support from the people around me.
Why should they be denied the right to share their life together? you are voting for the first time in the history of our state to codify discrimination into our Constitution.
I hope you will stand on the right side of history.
My son is not an issue. He is a person, just like you.
It is time. It is time to give our loving gay and lesbian couples the right to a marriage license.